2025 has been an interesting year here in the Philippines. And as we come to the close of this year, I thought it would be appropriate to kind of cover some of the highlights that's happened here with expat vloggers specifically in the Philippines over this past year. Now, please keep in mind, there are now hundreds and hundreds of Philippine expat channels out there by vloggers, right? All on the YouTube space. And there's more people coming online trying it out all the time. So there's no way I can cover everybody. So I've kind of come up with some rules to kind of explain how I'm going to do this so I can give you the highlights of the main people. So here's a couple of rules to kind of help filter the process a bit. This way you'll kind of know what you're looking for and what you'll be watching, okay? So I'm going to focus on the most popular expat channels and those that have been around for a significant amount of time so that they're the names that most expats and even the locals are familiar with. And I'm going to use the criteria of total views first. That's the most important, the total views of all the videos on their channel. And then I'll look at total subscribers and the total videos posted. But my ranked order that you're going to see is going to be based upon views. So it's likely that the older channels will have more subscribers than the newer channels because YouTube has changed how they do a lot of that. But the views is the total times that people have watched videos on their channel. Could be any particular video or all of the videos, but it's the total of times that all of the videos have been watched. That's what your total views are. So it's just a more relevant measure of continued interest in the channel and success. You can have a very low subscriber rate, but if you have millions and millions of views, then you have a very popular, profitable channel, okay? Now, one of the rules is the channel must make videos in English. I'm not covering the Tagalog space or Cebuano space, so it's got to have the actual video. It's got to be in English and not another language, otherwise it doesn't qualify for this. And if the channel has a personality from the Philippines behind it and they're not an expat, then even if they target the expat space itself, they're not going to be covered. There's a simple reason for that. It is much more difficult to come from a foreign country and establish a successful YouTube channel in another country than your own, especially talking about the Philippines, than having the advantage of being a local and growing up and already knowing the culture. I mean, imagine if you had your own YouTube channel that was about the United States and the culture, you'd have a pretty significant advantage. So those folks are not included in this summary for 2025. And just as a reminder, I'm Eric with Island Expats, and at the end of this video, I've got something I think you'll be interested in, and that's going to give you a top-down ranking of all of these expat channels that have over 10 million views. And it's over 40 channels that actually have 10 million views, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. It's a lot to get 10 million views. Some of these channels you're going to know well, while others you may be surprised and you may not know them, or you might be surprised to learn exactly how large their following actually is. You know, especially in the family-based channels that have young families. They have a very large audience. I call it due to the kid factor, because there's young kids and a growing family, there are other young families with kids that always want to watch the videos, and it just expands their base exponentially. They're some of the largest channels in the Philippine expat space as far as vloggers go, but several of them, most expats won't even know, because it's a huge age gap difference, right? Most expats in the Philippines are in their 50s or 60s. Some of these channels, these folks are in their 20s or 30s. Well, there's been a lot happening in our expat community over this past year. So I want to go through some of the key highlights of some of the more known channels, just some of the things that have happened, some of the goings on. So you have an idea of kind of what's happening. All right. So let's go through some of the highlights, and then we're going to do some individual clips of some of these key things happening. All right. To start off, one of the longest playing YouTubers out there, who's been doing this for years for the Philippines, has two channels The first one is called The Hungry Syrian Wanderer. And then the second one, which was started in 2020, is called The Hungry Syrian Family, and that's his family. This is from a Syrian that came over here when their house actually was bombed a few years back. His name is Basil. He's very much the personality behind the channel. He typically never shows his wife, which is kind of interesting. But he posts regularly on both of these two channels, and they have a significant amount of views. The Hungry Syrian Wanderer channel in particular has a massive number for the number of views. 516 million views. That means that his videos have been clicked on 516 million times. Now his channels have been out there for a long time, and that does give him an advantage. He has a subscriber base larger than any other expat vlogger channel out there at 5.2 million subscribers, and he has a total of somewhere around 738 videos posted, depending upon the channel. Now the Syrian Family channel actually has 153 million views, 1.45 million subs or subscribers, and 294 videos, even though it was only started just about 5 years ago in 2020. So that's actually a pretty successful channel all by itself. So Basil came from Syria several years ago as a young college student. And he basically left his country once it became under attack. And he literally had his home bombed. And so he decided, time for me to get out of here. He was graduating high school, he was going off to college. And so he decided to get his engineering degree in the Philippines. The interesting thing there is he didn't speak Tagalog. He didn't speak English at the time. He just spoke Aramaic. So he comes to a new country by himself for the first time, starts to go to college. He's got to learn the language and do it in engineering. I would say the guy's quite bright. And then over time, he started a family here. And he's had several different business ventures. For a while, he had some Korean grocery stores, and he did something with ice cream and all kinds of things. His newest venture is actually opening up a shawarma restaurant, which he says will be the first one in the Philippines. We've got a clip here of Basil showing his new home that he's just about to move into. This is like super recent, like within the last 2 weeks. He's upgrading his home to a larger space. That way he can fit his entire family. I think he's got a brother in France and some other family members. He wants them all to live with him. Well, let's take a look because it's an incredible house. Here we go.
Here with Milado, and we're going to show you our beautiful place here, Hidden Crypt in the Philippines. I didn't have any time to show you this, but I squeezed in some time just to show it to you. It's totally empty and it's only me and Dado. Wow. Tour gone wrong. I was so afraid they're gonna say this is not my house. Parang hindi sa akin. Okay, pasok kayo mga tao. Welcome to our house. So when you come in, you see on the left side, right away, you see the sala. This house is bare. There's no furniture, nothing. It's totally empty, you know. That's why you feel it's very spacious. Just close the door, Dado. Then on the right side of the main door is the pantry. You can put the pantry, maybe the grocery items, stuff like that. So this is where we store our food items. Spacious, high ceiling, sala in here, or dining area, you get? It's very spacious and very big, and it's open to the kitchen. Before we see the kitchen, I want to show you the first bedroom downstairs, mga tao. There's a cabinet, and then it takes us to the first bedroom. Yeah, it's big, and we're gonna fix everything. We're gonna fix it and decorate it and etc. This one in here is cabinets, and we're gonna put things in here, store a lot of things. This room in here has own toilet and bathroom. It's very big, spacious. Hi neighbor. The dog is saying hi to me because it's his first time to see me. So this is the veranda here, overlooking our garden. This can be sitting area, coffee area with Dado in the morning before I go to work. So now We go inside. Yeah, be careful, stay away from the stairs. Because we wanted to have like a bigger house, bigger rooms, bigger garden for my brother if he will visit me from France. If Angry Baba will come also from France, they will have their rooms, you know. They can visit us and the kids have bigger garden to play, you know, safe environment and just the right place to raise your kids, and everybody is gonna be happy. My goal after all is to make the entire Manadil family happy.
That is an incredible house. You know, it kind of reminds me of an old wooden tall ship in the center of the home where they have those wooden railings. And it's just above the stairs. It's like you're looking down from like you're at the ship captain, looking from where the captain's quarters would be in the back of those tall ships, you know, high up in the back where the wheel was out in front where they would steer and the captain would shout out orders. Kind of looks like that. Well, obviously, Basil's doing quite well if he can afford a property like this. I don't know what the price tag is. He didn't disclose that, but it's got to be significant. Okay, let's move on to the next channel, which has been around for quite some time now. And it has a really extensive audience because he's one of the first ones at a very young age to be an expat vlogger. And this is called Becoming Filipino. And it's Kyle Jennerman's channel. And it's basically his journey learning the Filipino culture. As he arrived here in the Philippines, he originally was from Canada. And he really likes to participate in all the unique things and tribes and travel and cuisine. And so he really is trying to become Filipino. His channel has 319 million views, has 1.15 million subscribers, and about 1,900 videos. So he's been doing this for quite a while, which helps to kind of build that count. Kyle was married to Therine in July of 2024, and they've been trying to start a family since that time. They were recently really excited to find out that Therine was pregnant. And she's about 3 months pregnant now. And so at that point, it's about when you tell your family and friends to make sure everything's okay. And they've had several doctor visits. But I have an update here, and well, let's take a look.
Join me, love. Join me. Join me.
What is this for?
Look at our beautiful Christmas tree. Haha. Threed's pregnant.
I'm pregnant.
What are we doing today?
We're heading to St. Luke's to have our checkup.
Yeah, we're going for a third time actually to the hospital because we've already been twice before. Here's a few clips if I took any. We're gonna find out today how pregnant Three is so far. How far are you along?
Yeah.
11 and a half
I'm
weeks?
now on my 3rd month.
No, 11 and a half
12
weeks.
12 weeks.
You're 12 weeks?
12 weeks.
I can go find out today anyways,
12,
no?
13, something like that.
Yeah, 3, even so when we were at the wedding, when we were in Boracay, all last few months, Three's been pregnant. We've known since October.
Last week of October.
Yeah, it was like October, I think you told me October 18th. I think I remember the day.
Something like that.
So, you know what music we're going to be listening to soon? Hit me, baby, one more time.
I thought Baby Shark.
Baby, no, we're not doing Baby Shark. What other songs have Baby? You always be my baby. Oh no, better one. Baby got back. Do. Baby got back. Yeah.
What's that?
What are we looking for today? Like a heartbeat. Grab it. It was just like all of a sudden, like the thing just pops up and then the baby's just like like that. It was amazing. So we were super happy that everything looked great on the ultrasound. So we'll find out today because Therine did a whole bunch of tests last week, blood tests, everything to check a bunch of stuff for our OB checkup today. And I think we're gonna listen to the baby with the doctor, who is excited to meet baby. 12 weeks, 3 days. We're gonna get to see baby again and hear the heartbeat. This is like the worst feeling I possibly have ever had. And I just want to put this on camera right now because I want to be able to remember. And unfortunately, we didn't get a heartbeat on the ultrasound, so we lost the baby. This is so hard.
Now, our thoughts and prayers go out to Kyle and Therine in this very raw and difficult time. And I really debated whether to show this clip at all. But over time, some viewers have questioned, kind of as Kyle became more and more popular, he became a little bit, I don't know, less approachable or something. Because he gained a lot of notoriety trying to become a Filipino. And it was very public, and he actually was granted by the Philippine government to become actually a Philippine citizen, which is just unheard of for a foreigner who doesn't have Filipino parents. It just doesn't happen. But he became so popular and viewed so much, it got the attention of the government, and they actually granted him Filipino citizenship. And I wanted to show this video because I felt like it was so transparent and so authentic. You can just feel Kyle and Therine's pain. The disappointment is so real. I've gone through that myself, and it hurts. And unfortunately, life is hard sometimes, and things happen that we don't want. And for them to actually take the time and share it with us when they were hoping it to be more like, here comes our baby video, like an announcement that the baby's coming, and instead they have to say that it's a miscarriage. Well, in my book, that just takes a lot of courage to make a video and share that with us in tears on their very weakest moment. So I thought it was very authentic and very real. And I know it was difficult to watch, but this is life sometimes. And even with expats, things happen. So I thought it was worth showing. All right. Very sad. Let's move on. The next channel is a guy named Finn Snow, which I think he's originally from Iceland. And he now has 98 million views, 541,000 subscribers with 614 videos. Now, Finn is a diver, and he's known for his underwater photography. And he has a nice yacht off of Darwin that he often goes out and explores dive spots throughout the Philippines. Between him and his girlfriend, they go off on these trips and go diving to these fascinating places. The diving in the Philippines is, as you know, world class. Well, this past year, Finn married his long-term girlfriend, Sherlyn Dorio. She comes from Camigan, which is off of Mindanao. She also has a popular fitness channel and was previously a beauty pageant winner. She has just an incredible personality on camera. She's just really interesting to watch. She's got a smile that just won't quit. Let me show you a quick clip and you'll see what I mean.
Syrian, 27, province of Camiguin.
Well, Finn and Sherlyn together, they take us through their life. And one of the things they've done in the last year or two is just built this incredible home in the Darwin area, just outside Dumaguete on the coast. But I want to show you a clip of their wedding so you can see how things took place. And they actually had a civil ceremony at the Darwin, mayor's office, basically. So let me show you this in front of the judge. Here we go.
Because I'm very concerned of your concern. Okay, so this
So Mayor, yabot ni si Mayor.
of course happy.
Thank you,
Always, as always, I will always support those people who needs.
We just got married. Sa kuan, sa court, sa mayor.
Now, the next channel is from one of my favorite guys in the Philippines. His name is Dean Hashim. His channel was Dean the Expat. He changed the name. A lot of that happened this year. But instead of Dean the Expat, he goes by Dean Hashim in the Philippines. And instead of just Dean the Expat. Same guy. Anyway, Dean has 185 million views, 514,000 subscribers, and 612 videos. Dean is a true comedian, and he is really funny and really interesting to watch. It cracks me up every single time. His content is a combination of insights from living in the Philippines now for quite a few years. He has been in the Dipolog area of Mindanao, if he's still exactly in that same spot. And that's kind of where he goes, and he's pretty much the only really well-known blogger in that area. And Dean has been doing this for several years now, and he really enjoys sharing the Filipino culture with us and some of the key differences that he compares the U.S. to, where he originally came from I think it's the Philadelphia area. And he then compares that to the U.S. It may be that he's from Ohio. I know he had a daughter that lived in Philadelphia from his previous marriage. So it may be that he's from Ohio. But either way, he's from that area, either Philadelphia or Ohio. Well, Dean now has a Filipino wife, and he's got several new kids. And I just find him really authentic, really honest. And that's part of what makes his approach work, because he says exactly what he thinks. And he does it in a fun and interesting way and kind of calls stuff out like, oh my gosh, can you believe this? Let's take a look, because I think Dean's just really funny. If you haven't seen him, you really ought to watch his channel. Here we go.
1 a.m, she called me making pansy canton. And she said, man, what are you doing so late? What? I said, I'm making my canton. I need a midnight snack. And then, even though she was sleepy, she just smiled and said, you're really becoming a Pinoy. It made me say, okay, you know what? I need to do a video and break this down. Today, we're going to talk about 7 signs that, let you know you're becoming more Filipino than American. Let's talk about it. Sweet and spicy flavored canton. Tell me in the comments, what is your favorite flavor? Mine is sweet and spicy, or the calaman, what is it? Chili mansi. Oh, chili mansi. I like chili mansi, and I like sweet and spicy. And dude, why don't I think about that no other time of the day? No, I think about Panzer Canton about 12:35, about 1:08 a.m. That's when I start thinking about Pansit. That's like your go-to snack. And don't let it be no soft bread up in the house, okay? Because I'm going to go straight to making me a Pansit sandwich. Yes, that is correct. Those in the Western world that don't know about that, yeah, in the Philippines, we put Pansit on bread. We'll roll it up like a daggone hot dog. Damn, too yummy. Should I say, lami kaayo for all of my Visaya speakers, and masarap for the Tagalog speakers. And if you think getting late night noodle cravings is wild, wait until you're in the Philippines for long enough and you start putting up your Christmas tree in September. Damn! I had to learn about the Burr months, but I also learned about how important Christmas is to the Kababayan.
Now, as I mentioned before, several popular expat channels made name changes this past year, as some of these vloggers either moved to other countries, so the name didn't quite fit, or they decided to attract a wider audience and then change the name to make that fit. For example, Gio in the Philippines, he's been around for, I think, 9 years in the Philippines. He recently changed his channel from Gio in the Philippines to Gio on the Go because he moved to Thailand. And it probably makes sense. Gio on the Go works for, Thailand, Vietnam, or wherever he wants to go. He seems like to be traveling throughout Southeast Asia. I actually think Gio on the Go is a pretty good name. It kind of travels. It's flexible. So it makes sense if he goes to wherever country in Africa or Southeast Asia. So that was one of the changes that happened. Mike's Philippine retirement, he actually updated his name, used the initials now to MPR, and then dash life abroad after 60. So Mike's 71, he's based in the Dumaguete area, and Mike actually describes his channel about the real experience of growing older living abroad in the Philippines and the various lessons that he's learned along the way, and he tries to share that wisdom to tell you what to do and what not to do. It's very straightforward. Then this year we also saw, and this is recent, actually in the last few weeks, a change with another popular, continues to be growing channel, and that is from Michael of That Philippines Life. I'm sure most of you have heard of him. He's kind of put Raha City on the other side of Iloilo on the map on Panay. Well, he has started the Canadian Beaver a little while ago, a year or so more, and he decided at this point he needed to become a silent partner, and he allowed his other shareholders to take over the day-to-day operations. And so now they're running the Canadian Beaver restaurant, but they have experience in running restaurants in the Philippines. And though Michael was the founder, he did have the wisdom to say, hey, I'm losing some money trying to get this off the ground. Maybe I should give this to more of an operator that does this here in the Philippines as far as restaurants go. And he's very honest about what he tried and some of the mistakes that he made. And I appreciate his very straightforward approach. And I think Michael's real gift is he's a tremendous communicator, right? Really good on camera. And he understands how to make videos. He had a previous channel with Bianca, that was his previous wife, and they got divorced about a year ago or so. And then they split to two channels. And he actually let her take the old channel. And then he started this new one, and, it's strong as can be. He really has a passion for making tourism type videos. He likes to go to different destinations within the Philippines and then, promote properties or different cities. So I think Michael was recently on a clip very honest about how he kind of spent this past year getting the Canadian Beaver off the ground, but he also was kind of like one arm behind his back because he's on a tourist visa. So technically you can't work. You can own a business, but you can't work in it. Very strange laws that they have here. Anyway, another thing that Michael did recently is he added a members only page section to his YouTube channel. You'll find that the main channels that have been around a long time, Gio, Rike, Old Dog Paul, all those guys have members only videos that they make, and it basically costs you a subscription per month to be part of those like true insight videos to get more details. All right, well, let's take a look at a clip from Michael. He gives us his thoughts on this change to the Canadian Beaver, which he, like I said, he founded, and it was kind of hard to give up, but he tells us why. Let's take a look.
Well, hard to believe. 3 1.6 million pesos. Is how much I poured into this business venture. If you don't know, like June of last year, so I don't know, a year and a half ago, I had the bright idea of starting a business here in the Philippines with some business partners. And it was a beach bar. And it didn't like just happen because I was thinking about it or anything. It just kind of fell in my lap. Somebody had said, hey, want to buy it? You know, sort of thing. And I was like, yeah, why not? Let's do this. And I'm that kind of guy, right? I'm the kind of guy that just throws myself into it going, let's go, take a risk, do it, go have fun. But at the time, like I just restarted my life from my ex and everything. And I'd only been building up my channel for like 6 months. I just didn't have the financial wherewithal. But I did have, connections where I went to people and said, listen, I'm going to do all the marketing. I'm going to do operating and everything else. So with Catherine, I can't physically do work, but I can be the brains and we'll just get it going and we'll make it happen. And so I had Filipino business partners that jumped in and they put up the money initially with the deal that, I'll never ask them for money again. I will put in the any money going forward after that. And of course, in addition to my own time and effort and Catherine's time and effort and everything else. And everything was great. We did a grand opening. It was pretty awesome. Lots of people came from all over the world. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. But what I didn't know at the time came from a lot of things. Like I had experiences in running businesses back home, not in the restaurant bar business. And let's be honest, so many people in my comments were saying, this is guaranteed to fail. Businesses and bars, 99% failure rate or 90%, whatever they were all saying. And it actually was fuel for me. It wasn't, confirmation. It wasn't really a warning. It didn't come off that way. Anyway, to me, what it came to me is, okay, well, now I definitely have to show them they're wrong. And, I wish I had done that. But then again, do I? Because, yeah, I was wrong. Like our price point was totally wrong. I was trying to provide like Western sized meals and, with more expensive ingredients, things like that, but trying to be price competitive with all the other Filipino restaurants all over. And that clearly was a bad business model, right? You can't do that because I was literally paying people to eat. And, I didn't have a lot of the structures set up for make sure of theft and everything else where I thought I did, but I didn't. In hindsight, I know all the mistakes that I made throughout this. And, when a lot of people go to expat bars, restaurants in here and they're like, oh yeah, but the prices are so expensive. But now I understand why. Well, yeah, but if you've seen the quality of the food they're providing and all of everything they're putting into it, if they didn't charge those prices, they'd be losing their shirt.
Okay, at this point in our video, we're about halfway through and we're already up against 30 minutes. So I'm just going to call an audible here. I'm going to divide this video into part 1 and part 2. That way it doesn't get too long. So we'll cut it off here. And then in part 2, I'll just release it in about a week behind this one, right? So it'll just follow because it takes a lot of time to edit all this together. Days and days of editing. So let me just cut off this now so I can release this actually for New Year's Eve in the US, New Year's Day here in the Philippines. And then we will go ahead and I'll finish up the second half of this. In the second half is where I'm going to give you the 40 plus channels that have more than 10 million views. And then that way you have a complete list of everybody that's the main players in the expat Philippines space. And that gives me time to figure out how to show you those 40, I think it's 42 players. All right, so thanks for watching. This is going to conclude part 1. Look for part 2 in about a week. Take care. Bye-bye.